Hello everyone, Haseo here, and today I will be doing a tutorial on how to create Soundwave from Transformers Voice. Now, I've seen a lot of tutorials online that tell you to use a program called Yogen Vocoder, but that program doesn't really work anymore because you cannot get the full version because the website for it does not exist anymore, so it's impossible to redeem your serial number. So, I am using a different technique for this. I am using Adobe Audition plus a plugin called M Vocoder by Melda Production. I will be putting a link to it in the description. Unfortunately, it is not a free plugin. It's part of a suite that costs 40 euros, and it comes with a huge amount of different plugins that all work with Adobe Audition. So, I would recommend picking it up if you are looking for some high-quality plugins for Audition for some serious work. But it does come with a free 2-week trial, which is what I'm using for this. Now, you're going to need 2 audio tracks in order to create this. First of all, you're going to need your voice track, which you record in a growly Dr. Claw type voice, which is what Frank Welker used as the bass for Soundwave.
As you command, Lord Megatron.
Second, you're going to need a music track. I created this using GarageBand, but you can also use other programs like Reaper or whatever else is out there. I set it to strings, so it creates like violin and other type of those instruments because that seems to match Soundwave's sound a lot better. And I also created a 3-note chord because that gives a more dynamic sound to it. And I held it out for 6 seconds just to make sure that it's definitely long enough for the entire line. And I've got it set to 1 pitch here, but you can alternate pitches with different sections of the sentence to give different inflections for his mood. I kept it at 1 just because that's typically how Soundwave in the G1 cartoon would say as you command Lord Megatron. And here's what mine sounds like. Now, you're going to create a multi-track session, which I've already got set up here, and you're going to drag your voice track onto track 1, and your music track onto track 2. Now, before I get into anything else, I personally think that my voice track is a bit too high-pitched, so I've got a pitch shifter set to -3. Which will sound like this now.
As you command, Lord Megatron.
Alright, and next, all of my attention for now is going to be focused on this second track. You are going to open up your VST3 plugins, and it's under Filter, Melda Production, and Vocoder. So let's go here. First of all, you're going to go to this top right icon right here that says Set Sidechain Input when you hover over it. You're going to set it to stereo on this drop-down list. Now, to make sure that everything is set up correctly before you go to the next step, you're going to go to Switches to the pop back up again, please. Switches to the Channel Map Editor, which is right next to the button we already pushed. And make sure that all of your settings look like this. These should be the default ones, so you shouldn't have to change anything. Now, there's a preset that I like to use for Soundwave because it makes things a lot clearer in the final product. But there's a ton of different vocoder presets on here that you can use. The one I use is Vocal Vocoder with Original. Double-click it, and it will automatically set everything to the preset. And you can fiddle around with the different settings to create different kinds of effects. But I have no idea how any of that works, so I just use that preset. Now, You are going to set your display here with these four icons to sends, which is this third one right here with two arrows going at a right angle. You're going to go to track 1. You're going to click on S1, set it to sidechain M vocoder. This is going to sync it up with the vocoder track and make the music track affect the dialogue. Now, you're going to play it right here to see how it sounds.
As you command, Lord Megatron.
Now, you can't really hear what the vocoder sounds like because this dialogue track is too loud. So we're going to mute this, go back to the beginning, and it should sound like this.
As you command, Lord Megatron.
Now, that is what your final product should sound like. I know that sounds a bit less like G1 Frank Welker Soundwave and more like War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Isaac J. Singleton Soundwave, but I personally think that sounds really cool. And you can fiddle around with different settings and different pitches, and you don't have to lower the pitch of your bass dialogue in order to make this sound good. It's just what I like to do. So after that, you are going to make sure that track 1 is muted so that sound doesn't get exported with everything else. You are going to go to File, Export, Multi-Track Mixdown, Entire Session, and export it to somewhere where you can find it. I personally have a folder where I put all of my Transformers voice-related stuff, and I will export it there as a WAV file, because that is higher audio quality than MP3, even if it's a bit higher file size. And export it. And there you go. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know. And let me know if there are any other Transformers voice effects or voice effects in general that you would like me to teach you guys how to do. I already have one planned for how to do Unicron, which was in my most recent voice test video with the conversation between Unicron and Megatron. That should be up sometime soon. I'm going out of town this weekend, so I won't be able to record for the next few days, but hopefully I'll have that up before Christmas. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me for this video, and take care.